Tanzania in East Africa. A country of hot roads through superb natural paradises and national parks. This will be an adventurous journey of more than 1,000 kilometers on dusty roads to remote regions, wild animals and vast landscapes. Tanzania's biggest city, Dar es Salaam, lies on the Indian Ocean. The economic heart of the country, Dar es Salaam is the starting point for many adventure trips. Numerous bus routes to the north begin in Bunju district. Small buses, known here as daladalas, are particularly popular. Conductor Mwanza Pazi is drumming up the last passengers for the trip to Bagamoyo. The former capital is a good 2 hours away.
The route used to be really dusty, but now it's fine, thank goodness, and we get to Bagamoyo punctually. In the past, if you took a bus at this time, you wouldn't arrive until the day after.
But many a pothole still remains. Passengers and the driver are used to it, though.
When I started the job as a young girl, I had to face lots of challenges. Some people just laughed at me. But at the same time, I was encouraged by drivers who told me I just had to battle through. Now I've got job experience, and several other women have also been taken on. Now that's become quite normal. And besides, these days women are capable of doing every kind of job. Bunju to Bagamoyo. We've still got plenty of room. 500 for the bus to Bagamoyo.
Mwanza and driver Adamu Matotora work as a team. He would actually have preferred to become a pop star. Passengers are often treated to his talents. For her part, Mwanza is dreaming of a career as a bus driver. She's taking lessons at a driving school, but sometimes she's also given instruction by her driver. Tanzania lies in East Africa, just south of the equator. Our journey will take us from Dar es Salaam through the coastal town of Tanga, over the Usambara Mountains to Arusha, past Lake Natron, and through the Ngorongoro and Serengeti national parks. It will end in Mwanza on Lake Victoria. Tanzania's coastal region is greatly influenced by Islam, which was spread here centuries ago by Arab traders. The bus station in Bagamoyo is the final stop for Mwanza and her driver. They then have to join the queue and wait their turn for the journey back. At one time, Bagamoyo was a transshipment point for slaves. A crucifix on the beach is a memorial to those grim days when thousands were deported from the town. Today, you'll find people out for a Sunday stroll here, and fishermen, of course. In colonial times, Bagamoyo was the first capital of German East Africa, as Tanzania was known back then. Overgrown ruins bear witness to the time when the colonial administration was housed here. Our journey takes us further north to Saadani National Park. Even before we reach it, more and more animals can be seen on the roadside. The park, which also contains human settlements, lies next to the Indian Ocean. The connection between sea and forest enables a unique ecosystem to thrive. The Pangani River enters the ocean here. The mangrove forests along the shore are characteristic of zones which alternate between fresh and salt water, and they have their own special fauna.
This natural mangrove forest has existed for a long time. Trees have been cut down here since the 19th century, during colonial times. The timber is transported to neighbouring towns like Bagamoyo and Tanga and used for building houses and boats because it's very robust. Mangrove trees live for an incredibly long time. They can survive in the water for over 1,000 years without rotting.
Jessica Molel and her colleague from the national park are trainee rangers. On their morning patrol, they come across many animals that need protecting. Now, early in the morning, it's mainly aquatic birds hunting for fish that can be seen. The extreme conditions of the tidal zone are home to highly specialized animals that can cope really well with the fluctuating salinity. The dense root system offers a wide range of habitats. This African fish eagle is looking for prey. It has its eye on a group of pied kingfishers which are also out hunting. The cry of the fish eagle is also known as the voice of Africa. Meanwhile, the rangers are on the lookout for hippos which can be found here on the banks of the Wami. A hippo's nose, eyes and ears are located high up on its head. So when it swims, it can see just over the waterline. When it dives, a reflex closes the animal's nose and ears. This enables it to remain underwater for a good 6 minutes. Our journey continues further north along bumpy roads close to the coast. Here, other cars are a rare sight. The main means of transport are motorcycles. 50 kilometers beyond Saadani National Park, the road reaches the Pangani River. The only way across is by ferry. Making sure that the ferry crossing takes place smoothly is the job of Rachel Chiganga. She is a ticket inspector with the ferry company.
What a job this is. Some days you come to work in a really good mood, but as soon as you arrive, there's some kind of problem that has to be fixed. Sometimes passengers even swear at you. Then, you just have to stay cool. No matter how you explain a situation, some people just refuse to understand. Then you have to take other measures. This can even result in an open conflict.
Like Imwanaheri, the bus conductor, Rachel also has to face prejudice against working women. But she stands her ground and does her job here every day.
I never dreamt I'd have a job like this. In 2013, I did my military service in Bulumbura, Kigoma. I served for 3 years. Sadly, I wasn't lucky enough to be taken on permanently by the army.
Today is definitely not a good day. A truck driver has rammed the side of the ferry, so first the truck has to be freed. Unfortunately, his engine has also been damaged. So the passengers have to wait for a while. But street traders are immediately on the spot, offering tidbits to calm them down. After all, it could take some time for help to arrive for the truck. We continue our journey along sandy roads to the coastal town of Tanga. The road has to be shared by a lot of users: trucks, daladalas, pedestrians, and even children at play. Not far past the town, a totally different picture presents itself. Here, cultivated leisureliness is the order of the day.
My name is Stefano and I've just come from Gamba, where I collected some cows. Now I'm walking them to Milimani Kwambaku. I've come from the cattle market.
It's rare to see a motorized vehicle on this road. Stefano is a Maasai, and Maasai culture revolves heavily around cattle. A Maasai, for instance, should never own fewer than 50 cows. As a young man, Stefano has the status of a Morani, a word that also means warrior. The status also involves various duties and customs.
Yes, we are Moranis, those who always dance at festivals. Like this.
Hunting animals is not part of everyday life for a Maasai, but sometimes Moranis will attack elephants or lions merely to provide proof of their own strength. We head on through Mkomazi National Park. The hot, dry savanna here is characterized by fewer trees and thorn bushes. The name Mkomazi comes from the local Pear language and means wooden spoon full of water, a reference to the extreme aridity of this region. Nevertheless, around 3,000 square kilometers of land here are inhabited by an impressive number of animals, including various species of gazelle and elephants. At dusk, we come across the elephants on the trails leading through the park. When a herd is startled, the bull elephants show that they are not to be messed with, and how powerful they are. Other animals depend on the nature park rangers for their protection. They include rhinos, which are still hunted by poachers for their horns and are thus an endangered species. That's why this black rhino lives in a high-security tract in the park, surrounded by electric fences and guarded by rangers. These vegetarian animals feed mainly on acacias, which continue to grow even in a drought. The black rhino population in Mkomazi makes up about 30% of all the black rhinos in Tanzania. Mkomazi also has a breeding program for African wild dogs. Wild dogs are seriously endangered, above all because of traps set by humans. Their main enemies in the wild are lions. We are now heading through the Usumbara and the Pear Mountains in northern Tanzania. Running through the foothills is National Route 1. Farmers' wives stand by the roadside, selling their vegetables. Other traders can't wait and offer their goods to passing customers with total commitment. At places where speed bumps force vehicles to slow down, the maize sellers are waiting. Grilled corn on the cob is delivered to drivers in their cabs.
My name is Miraji Bakari, and I come from Tanga. I live here with my wife and my family. My job is selling maize. Sometimes, if that's not going well, I work as a motorcycle taxi driver. Here they also call me Mzigwa. Everyone knows me. Even the children all know who Mzigwa is.
Along National Route 1, there is a lot of traffic traveling between Dar es Salaam and the big city of Arusha. That means plenty of potential customers.
I buy 5 corn cobs from a farmer for 1,000 shillings. When I come here, I sell them for 500 shillings each, and I sell up to 150 corn cobs a day. But I also employ 2 boys to help me, because I can't do it all on my own. So I have 2 boys who work for me as casual laborers. At the end of the day, I share with them what I've earned. So then we're all happy, and life goes on.
To run from one moving vehicle to another for hours, you need to be fit and have a lot of faith in God.
Because of the vehicles, the hardest thing here is making sure you don't get knocked down. That can happen so quickly, and someone might also steal your corn cob and zoom off without paying. So, because of these challenges, here you've always got to be on your toes.
Then we reach Arusha, Tanzania's 3rd biggest city. Arusha is the seat of many government organizations. It is also the gateway to the country's biggest national park. Now it's the evening rush hour. Arusha is also a center for car tinkerers and mechanics. Along entire roads you will see cars being repaired, sprayed, tuned and scrapped. There is one thing mechanics here are especially proficient at: taking standard off-road vehicles and lengthening them. XXL Land Cruisers are popular with safari organizers because they enable more tourists to be driven through the national parks at once. A lot of people profit from this creative recycling. Even total wrecks still serve as spare part depots. The road conditions here mean that car tinkerers in Arusha will never be short of work. It's a dirty job, especially in the dry season when the slightest gust of wind whirls up a cloud of dust. On our journey through northwest Tanzania, our next destination, Lake Natron, is still a long way off. Quite unexpectedly, in this sparsely populated landscape, we come across a cattle market. It gives you an idea of what it means to live in the endless expanses of Tanzania. This is part of the Great Rift Valley, which extends over a distance of some 6,000 kilometers. The vast plains are inhabited mainly by pastoralists who drive their cattle or goats to the best grazing grounds. Zebras feed at the foot of Mount Gilai, a volcano nearly 3,000 meters high. Meanwhile, an articulated truck struggles along a narrow track, which is scarcely ideal for transports of this size. Truck driver Julius Johanna has driven this stretch many times, so he knows it like the back of his hand. He delivers cement for road construction so that one day this route will be less stressful. The bumpy road to Lake Natron runs through an inhospitable landscape. Julius Johanna endures the route with stoic calm.
I was born in 1956. I've been working now for 35 or even 40 years. I've been with the same firm for the last 27 years. The way you see me here, that's my job. I've been doing the same work all my life. My job provides me with all the essentials in life, even though I could always do with a bit more cash. But this is what God has given me.
The cement for the new road will mainly benefit visitors from outside, because hardly anyone who lives here, and they are mainly Maasai, has a car.
Sometimes I don't manage to get home for several days. I spend a lot of time on the road. While at home, the financial situation isn't rosy. Life really isn't that simple.
In an off-road vehicle, it takes a day to drive from Arusha to the lake. But Julius needs twice as long in his heavy, articulated truck, provided the engine doesn't give up on him.
Just imagine, I've been on the road since yesterday and still haven't reached my final destination. The route is terrible. It's full of rocks. So you always have to drive carefully. In such situations, you always thank God if everything goes well.
Finally, we reach Lake Natron. A colony of lesser flamingos is sieving the water for red brine shrimps. The primeval organisms give the aquatic birds their typical pink plumage. At times, more than 2 million flamingos live in the 23,000 square kilometers of the area drained by Lake Natron. The salinity of the lake is so high that only a few specialized organisms can live in it. But around the shore, the leaves of the acacia trees attract giraffes. The sharp thorns are no problem for the giraffe's long tongue. Earlier eruptions of Mount Lengai covered the surrounding area with lava. The volcano also releases large quantities of soda, or sodium carbonate, to use the chemical term. Soda is still needed today in the production of glass and detergents. The raw material thus offers a small income for the Maasai women who live on the shores of Lake Natron.
My name is Marian Elias. I live in Takano, and this is the work we do. It enables us to feed our families, buy school uniforms for our children, and a lot more.
But under the hot sun, the work is hard, especially because the soda sludge cauterizes the skin. The women don't have any sturdy shoes.
Our job is to extract soda, which can then be used, for example, as fertilizer. First of all, we let it dry. Then we carry it to the road and sell it. If you get stomachache, you put some of the soda in water and drink it. You'll soon be back to normal.
We always start work early in the morning and finish around midday, because standing in the water soon gets painful. The work is so strenuous that you can't do it every day. So we have to do other things, like growing vegetables.
We continue our journey through northern Tanzania. Along the way, we encounter unexpected means of transport time and again. Dromedaries were brought to this part of Africa by immigrants from Somalia. The locals regard the volcano as the Sea of the Gods. In the shadow of its peak, we continue our journey by bus to the Ngorongoro Crater. Displayed on the rear of the bus is a picture of Julius Nyerere, the first president of Tanzania after independence. A socialist, Nyerere is still revered by many even today. The Ngorongoro Crater was formed long ago when a volcano collapsed. 21 kilometers across, it provides a home for many animals. Protected by a crater rim that is up to 600 meters high, a natural biotope has developed here, which is crisscrossed by sandy trails. Traveling in an off-road vehicle, visitors can reach a natural paradise in which the inhabitants of the savannah are left to themselves. Virtually nowhere else in the world can as many wild animals be found in nature as in Ngorongoro. As the biggest water source, the crater lake always attracts a wide range of species. Large herds of wildebeest move through here on their migration. They're on their way to fresh pastures in the Serengeti, Tanzania's biggest and most famous national park, which extends out from the western side of the crater. Wildebeest are often seen together with zebras. The two species feed on different grasses. Forming larger groups gives them better protection from predators, like hyenas. The spotted hyena is Africa's most widespread species of hyena. It's a true omnivore. An excellent hunter, the spotted hyena focuses mainly on gazelles and warthogs. A dirt road links the Ngorongoro Crater directly with the Serengeti. For their long migrations, the animals mainly use trails away from the road. The Ngorongoro Crater itself is home to just a few dozen elephants, but other herds can be found on the slopes and in the surrounding savanna. Their numbers have fallen dramatically. In 1981, more than 8,000 elephants were counted here. But only a few years later, that figure had plummeted to just 250. The animals are hunted by poachers for their ivory tusks, which are used in traditional Chinese medicine. South of Ngorongoro lies the settlement area of a small tribe of traditional hunters and gatherers. The Hadzabe are one of the last communities to live close to nature. They inhabit an area which historians describe as the cradle of mankind.
This is my arrow, and this is the bow with which I fire it. I call my arrow Utundu Wako because its accuracy always brings me luck. Every animal my arrow hits immediately begins to sing the song of death.
With weapons they make themselves, the men go hunting for large and small animals to feed their community. The Hadzabe do not keep cattle.
We have to face a number of challenges, especially the fact that we have to cover large distances. Sometimes we also clash with poachers in our region, and they use machine guns.
The Hadzabe menfolk are not always successful on their forays. This time they have returned empty-handed. So the women go looking for something to cook, and they find it in the earth.
The roots I'm holding are tasty and nutritious.
They grow everywhere in the bush. They're a great standby, especially when the men come back with nothing from the hunt. We just dig up the roots with a stick. We then peel and chew them. And we always share what we have.
The Hadzabe's habitat is being reduced more and more by other ethnic groups who engage in farming and animal husbandry. Their traditional way of life is under pressure. At the same time, they are of interest to science because today only a few ethnic groups still live as genuine hunters and gatherers. After our detour to the Hadzabe, we again head north, into the Serengeti. To travel through here, you need a good off-road vehicle with strong shock absorbers. Because the trails through the national park take some getting used to. By the side of the trail we see impalas, guinea fowl, and their natural enemies. Conservation only began in the Serengeti after big game hunters in colonial days had decimated animal numbers to such a degree that there was hardly any prey left. Today, the national park concept protects entire ecosystems and is regarded as a success story. Animals can frequently cross your path, so when driving, you need to be alert. The word Serengeti is of Maasai origin and means endless plains. The vast savanna is dotted with small, strikingly shaped granite hills known as kopjes. The trails are used mainly by tourist vehicles. There are calls for them to be paved, but up to now, the conservation of nature has prevailed. Crouched on an umbrella thorn acacia, a lioness looks for prey. In 1929, the first part of the Serengeti was established as a sanctuary for these big cats. Up to then, they had been regarded mainly as pests, but today they are among the main attractions for visitors. Closely followed by the elephants. The trails through the national park are the domain of the tour companies with their extended off-road vehicles. Most of them are based in Arusha. One person who has been out and about in the Serengeti for many years is Konstantin Tongod. He's on his way to the Mara River, which at this time of year is being crossed by huge herds of wildebeest.
This time of the year, July, August, September, and October, they will be here. This is one of the very important features in Serengeti that you cannot see anywhere in the world, only happening in Serengeti. They are like a two different journey. They are coming here because of the river. It has a lot of water during the dry, and they're going back to center and south just because there is a raindrop that they can find a different kind of nutrients, proper patches with the different nutrients in the center and south.
The steep banks of the Mara River form a natural barrier to the wildebeest on their mass migration. The Mara is the only river in the Serengeti that also carries water in the dry season and thus ensures the survival of vast herds of hoofed animals. Many animals, however, fail to reach the other side of the river because lurking underwater are crocodiles. Some wildebeest are also swept away by the strong current.
So when they are starting the moving to center, to north, to west and north, it's time when they are mating. So now, like a 99% of wildebeest and zebra, they are pregnant. And then when they are deciding to go back October, all of them, they are going to change kind of nutrients, of minerals. Every single place that they are going in Serengeti, they are getting different kind of nutrients.
Wildebeest have been migrating annually for tens of thousands of years. Overcoming all obstacles, they roam across the entire Serengeti from north to south and back.
It is a part of the ecosystem. If there won't be any creature to eat them, Serengeti is going to be a flock of this. And then we should change the environment of Serengeti because the grass eaters are so many. So the crocodiles, the nature death, including the vultures you see, they are cleaning the nature. So they are trying to control the population as for sustainability population.
Costa used to be in the army. Then he gave rangers weapons training in order to combat poachers. Today, as a tour organizer, he's mainly interested in the animals in the national park.
They have their special trails. They can go across the road, across the other side, the small river, find the proper patches, find the food. You know, it's amazing. So, as I said, this is one of something to wonder. That is one of the things that makes Serengeti the best place to visit in the world because of the great immigration.
It's a difficult mix with the animal world, the visitors, and the traffic they create. The issue of paved roads is only one of many in which the interests of the local inhabitants clash with those of conservationists and foreign tourism companies. Costa has left the Serengeti on his way to Lake Victoria. He's made a brief stop in the little town of Mugumu. After every lengthy trip over the bumpy roads in the Serengeti, Costa checks under the bonnet to make sure everything is still in the right place.
Anything can happen after a long journey yesterday, and then the next morning before you start it, you have to double check everything. So that's why we checked the oil, the engine oil, the gearbox oil, the power steering fluid, the water through the whole, the coolant, the radiator system, and the batteries. Then we went to the brake system to see if it's working proper. So I double checked everything. It's super now.
The last part of our journey takes us to Tanzania's second biggest city, Mwanza on Lake Victoria. People, animals, and cars driving too fast. That's a dangerous mix. The dog was lucky not to get run over. The country roads are a meeting place, laundry, village square, and more. That doesn't always go hand in hand with the powerful off-road vehicles that come hurtling along. This is a lifeline with lethal dangers. A coach has come off the road. It couldn't take the band. Costa wants to help, so he brings the man from the bus company some water. Fortunately, no one has been injured in the accident. The passengers were able to switch to a replacement coach. The man now waits for the arrival of a large crane and a tow truck. On the poorly developed roads, a lot of things go well for an astonishingly long time, until one day there's a real accident.
So here we have nothing to do. As you see, the big damages here, this is the big truck. If it could be like our Land Cruiser, then we could have something to help them. But right now we cannot. They just say sorry, and then they are waiting for the crane that they can, what kind of help they are looking for. It's only one, the crane, that to pull them out.
From here, it will still take Costa a good 3 hours to reach Mwanza. The road now follows the coast of Lake Victoria. The world's second biggest freshwater lake, it is shared by Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. Finally, we reach Mwanza. From the open expanses of the Serengeti, it's back to the noise and bustle of the city.
In the city, it's hectic. A lot of careless people, drivers. So animals are not the careless. Animals are amazing. So it's just to respect them, and then you can drive smoothly. In the city, it's totally horrible. Like that.
Mwanza is an important industrial city. Fishing, mining, and cotton are the main sectors of the economy here. By the shore of the lake, large granite rocks rise up out of the water. The most famous one is known as the Bismarck Rock, a name that goes back to the German colonial era. For Costa, the trip is over, but he won't be able to rest for very long.
We end up the trip today here, and then tomorrow we have some customers drive to Serengeti. So we'll do all this stuff for 7 days, and we hope this trip will be an amazing, a trip of a lifetime.
Here, on the shores of Lake Victoria, our journey on the hot roads of Tanzania comes to an end.